screaming and slamming the president and all Republicans the best way to win back voters. Here to weigh in is the former campaign manager for Senator Sanders, Jeff Weaver. I posed that question to you. You heard Tom Perez there. You heard the approach that many Democrats have taken. Is that the right tone?
Well, I do think that that it is incumbent on Democrats to point out what this administration is trying to do. I mean, clearly they have stacked their administration full of corporate Wall Street insiders who are working very hard to hurt middle-class families. And I think it's important that Democrats point that out. I also think it's important that Democrats put out an alternative vision of how they would lead the country forward. 2018 is coming, 2020 is coming. I think many in the country are going to want to go in a new direction, and I think it's important that Democrats point out what that direction would be.
It seems, Jeff, to be fair, that the Democrats are mostly looking backwards or pointing fingers at the Trump administration, but your own former candidate, Bernie Sanders, has a different message. This is what he had to say more recently, Bernie Sanders, on the kind of how we should be talking about President Trump. Take a listen. And maybe we don't have the sound. If we don't have it, it says some people think that the people who voted for Trump are racists and sexists and homophobes and just deplorable folks. I don't agree. It wasn't that Donald Trump won the election. It was that the Democratic Party lost the election. He's taking a different tone, saying we need to understand voters that have left our party and bring them back in.
No, well, he's 100% right, of course. I mean, I've seen a lot of polling that looks at voters who voted for President Obama twice and then ended up voting for Donald Trump in the last election. Those voters obviously have concerns. There's a tremendous amount of economic anxiety out in the country. When you look at places like Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin, places that the Democrats thought they were going to win where they did not win. And those voters did not feel a connection. They did not feel
right.
like...
And so, Jeff, what about the message that Democrats are pursuing right now speaks to that economic anxiety? I hear words like economic justice or redistribution of wealth, but to that average worker who's lost their job overseas, what are they hearing from Democrats that would bring them back to the party?
Well, I do think that the Democrats need to, while they resist the excesses of the Trump administration, they do need to put forward a positive program. Certainly Bernie Sanders did that during his presidential run, which is one of the reasons why he was so popular with voters across the country and why, recent polls show him to be the most popular political figure in the country right now.
Jeff, last question. One of the last candidate your party ran was Hillary Clinton. She says she's now out of the woods and kind of back on the campaign trail. Regardless of what she's saying, is she the right future face for the Democratic Party?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton has a great contribution to make to the public discourse in this country. I do think going forward that the Democratic Party has to ensure that it has a bold, progressive candidate who is the next standard bearer for the party if they want to win in 2020. That's clear.
So you would say that's not Hillary Clinton if they want to win in 2020?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton, has tremendous strengths in many ways, but represents a wing of the party, which I think was rejected by a lot of voters last time.
Which also helped elect Tom Perez. So you're still fighting some currents there inside the DNC, which I know you and the Sanders campaign have been doing for a long time. Jeff Weaver, thanks for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
You got it.